Hey guys, what's going on? This is Swordfish. You know that. I really need a new catchphrase, don't I? Anyway, way off topic. This is a little story. I was talking to my friends about this a couple days ago, as of this recording. My friend was telling me and me and my other friends about how he got into RPGs, and it was a really good story, and it made me wonder. It made me think I should do something like this. Now, his story was really intricate and really awesome to listen to. Now, so keep your expectations low if you heard if you heard him, if you know what he's up to. But anyway, I thought my story was kind of cool too. Not nearly as interesting, but anyway, let's talk about how I got into RPGs. I am 18 right now, so I've been playing RPGs for 10 years. Started when I was 8. Do the math. But I have played games before RPGs. I used to have way back in fucking Nam. I had the legit original Nintendo, the legit first Super Mario. I had Duck Hunt or whatever it's called. I had Mega Man, like the old fucking games, really old. But those games, they were fun. But then what happened to me was Final Fantasy X came along. That was the first RPG I ever experienced. Back when I was a kid, my dad, had a lot of time in his hands. He didn't work as much as he does today. He would sit down in the living room. We used to have a PlayStation 2 in the living room and just play Final Fantasy X. And I would just sit there and watch for hours because you'd think, this action and Mario and stuff. You'd think, this is a turn-based game. What the fuck? No. At the time, I was so intrigued by the landscape, by the characters, by the story, even though I didn't follow any of it. The battles, just the fact that it was fought turn by turn, was just so intriguing to me. I sat there, my eyes wide open, like a kid at a candy store, just thinking, wow, this is really, really cool. And my dad would hand me the controller once in a while. He saved because he'd want me to die. I would run from the fights for some reason. And then I would fight, and then I would die, or I would really suck at it. And I was a kid. Give me a break. But I just sat there. I can't believe how long I sat there just watching for hours. Like, I'm talking like 4 hours straight. I just couldn't stop watching. And then that was the spark. That was dude, you gotta play RPGs more. That was the little voice in my head say, play these games. So now, Final Fantasy X, I didn't play myself. Like, I just watched my dad. I really didn't know too much about the story, battle system, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Especially the Sphere Grid. That confused the hell out of me. But what the first game I ever played by myself from start to finish without any help or maybe minimal help was Kingdom Hearts. I remember this day specifically. I turned, I think, 9 years old. Eight or nine, I think it was 9. I was walking home. I was in the 4th grade. I was at elementary school. I walked home. It was my birthday. I was so excited because when you're a kid, you get excited for your birthday. And I walked home. I had presents, and then the last thing I opened was what looked like a PS2 game wrapped in a case. I opened it. Kingdom Hearts. There it was. I saw it on commercials. I couldn't believe I had it, even though I really didn't know too much about it. My dad told me it had a mix between like old Final Fantasy characters, which I didn't know about at the time, besides like the cast from 10 and Disney characters. And I was like, I didn't really think much of it, just because I wanted to put the game in really fast. I sat in the living room. It was 8 o'clock at night. My brother, I don't know if my brother was. My mom and my dad were watching me. They kind of helped me along because I was still a kid. I was still confused. In the beginning, where you could pick your sword, staff, shield. For some reason, I picked the staff. I don't know why, but anyway, I picked the staff. Did the stupid tutorials with the Heartless, blah blah blah. And what was great about Kingdom Hearts was that it was just so simplistic. It is a family-friendly game, but it's still good for any age. If you're a 30-year-old man and you buy Kingdom Hearts, you have nothing to be ashamed of, my friend. If you're watching this video and you want to play Kingdom Hearts, you're 30. There's no shame. Don't be embarrassed. It's Kingdom Hearts. It's awesome. It's a classic. That's what made me get into RPGs in the first place. It was just simplistic enough. Sorry. It was just simplistic enough for me to get into. the basic button mashing X button lock on combat was just enough for me to understand what was going on. The story was awesome, and it's still awesome to this day, but again, it was still simplistic, and it made me want to keep going. If I played Kingdom Hearts right now, I probably wouldn't stop. I'd probably beat it in, I don't know, however many hours it took me. But again, that's what got me into it. My dad did help me once in a while, because again, I was 8 or 9, whatever, and that was the first game I actually myself, or RPG wise, I ever played. So from then on, I just started to play more RPGs. There years and years passed. I played more and more. I don't really remember the order. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 came along. I liked it a lot. I didn't think it was quite as good as the first one, to be honest. The gameplay was better, except it was still button mashy. It was a lot easier. The story wasn't nearly as interesting, although with the few twists it did have, it was pretty awesome. Some of the twists were a lot more intricate than the first game, about the whole Roxas scenario and that kind of thing. But then there was this one game I got. I think I was in 7th, maybe 8th grade, middle school, obviously. I went to the store. I had some spare cash. I saw a weird, strange-looking game. It was just a white box. Like it had cover art. I saw a boy with silver hair and some kind of monster behind him with 2 swords. It said Digital Devil Saga on it. Never heard of it. Looked in the manual, and I literally thought, oh, it's a turn-based RPG. Perfect. Bought it. $20, I think it was. At that point, if you do that, if you're like 14 and you look in the manual and you see it's a turn-based RPG and you buy it right away, you like RPGs when you do something like that. But I brought it home. I saw Shin Megami. At the time I didn't know how to say it. I was like, Shin Megami, what the fuck is this? And then Digital Devil Saga. I put it in, played it. It was epic, just from the start. The first cutscene I ever saw, I was like, wow, this shit's awesome. I couldn't stop. I beat it, and then I was like, wow, this shit's awesome. But it was just a game I never heard of, knew nothing about, didn't look up reviews because I never heard of it. I just wanted it because it was a turn-based RPG. The story turned out to be the best part of the game, not the gameplay. But the battle system was still fun despite the repetitive random encounters. The voice acting was superb. At that time, I really didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff, like voice acting and high random encounter rate, unless it was really bad. And to be honest, Digital Devil Saga's random encounter rate was borderline ridiculous at times. But beat Digital Devil Saga. I looked for the second one, because at that point I did know there's a 2-part series, because when I saw Digital Devil Saga in the store, I played it. Then, just out of curiosity, I went to GameStop again during the hours I was playing it, and then when I was in the middle of playing it, I was like, let's see what other games are out there. I still have some spare cash. DDS was pretty cheap. Then I saw Digital Devil Saga 2. I was like, what the fuck? There's a second one? Looked at the manual. Sweet, I guess I gotta hurry up and beat this one. So I really rushed the final dungeon in Digital Devil Saga 1, which any of you who played that know that dungeon is a fucking pain in the ass. Oh my god. But I'm not gonna get into that. But anyone who's played the game knows what I'm talking about, because that shit sucked. I rushed through it, and it took me 10 straight hours. I counted. Yes. What would have taken me 30 hours to beat took me 40 because of that dungeon. And I didn't mess around. I'm talking whoosh, straight line. I really rushed it. I didn't use a guide, but still, it was ridiculous. I hated that shit. But I beat the first one, went back to the store, buy the second one right away, but it wasn't there. I was so upset because Digital Devil Saga's ending was very cliffhanger. But not only was it because of the ending, but the story was so good in that game. It was so epic. But I couldn't find it. And then I saw another little game where actually it was funny. It was basically, I think, in the exact same spot Digital Devil Saga 1 was when I first got it. A Devil Summoner. What the fuck? I picked it up. It had Shin Megami Tensei on it. I was like, huh. Whoa, Shin Megami Tensei, what the fuck? What kind of connection does this have to Digital Devil Saga? Now, the funny thing when I saw Shin Megami Tensei on Digital Devil Saga was, prior to that game, I played Xenosaga, and then I noticed that it had, all these weird random-ass things that make no sense to the top, like Der Wilzermacht slash fucking also Sprach Zarathustra and all these weird ass names that didn't make sense. So when I saw Shin Megami Tensei, I was like, oh, it's copying Xenosaga. But at that time I had no idea it was part of a larger series. No idea. But then I saw Devil Summoner, and I was like, huh, maybe is it part of a big franchise? Like, it's gotta be. Played Devil Summoner. I didn't really dig it that much in the beginning because it just, the battle system seemed kind of boring to me. But the story was epic in that game too. And so it made me keep going. But to be honest, the battle system still bores me a little bit. I tolerate it, but then when I stop playing it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play Devil Summoner again. But, and to be honest, to this day, I still haven't beat it, just because I don't dig the battle system. It's not bad by any means, but it's so boring to me. But at that time, you know, Devil Summoner 2 didn't come out. It wasn't announced. You know, really nothing, no one from it, didn't hear about it at all. Played Devil Summoner for a little while, got bored with it, went back to DDS. No, I beat it at that time already, my bad. No, I beat Devil Summoner. Didn't, wow, start over. Alright, I am so sorry for this. I beat DDS, got Devil Summoner, didn't finish it. There we go. Then, months passed, got older. I saw DDS 2 at the store, got it, played it. I did not beat it because I got to the final dungeon and I got stuck. But I was pretty close to the end. But to this day, I still haven't beaten it, and I'll have to go back to it sooner or later. But yeah, I got DDS 2, played through basically almost the entire game except the final boss, and I thought it was just as good. It was satisfying. The gameplay was what little improvements it had. It was still improved, I guess. But yeah, loved it. And then, again, months passed. Went to GameStop. I saw Shin Megami Tensei. It was in a blue case. It had some weird cover art silhouettes. Didn't understand. Shin Megami Tensei P3. And at that time, I didn't know it was called Persona. I thought the pronunciation was Persona. I shit you not. I thought it was called Persona. I was like, Persona 3? Oh, it's Shin Megami Tensei, so it has to be good. At that point, when you say something like that, you know the series is damn good. And I looked at the back. It looked very anime type, and I was like, huh, this looks awesome. Then it was $60 because the game was like brand new. I'm talking like the game was released months before, like just a few months before I saw it at the GameStop. In fact, like maybe a month before. It was just released. $60, full price. I was with my mom at GameStop that day. I'm like, Mom, we have to get this. $60? Are you serious? You know, pick another game. I was so mad because I wanted it so bad. And then at that point, I bugged her so much to have it that, you know, she picked it up. Well, no, she didn't pick it up. We went to the clerk at the front desk. Blah blah blah. We chatted up for a couple minutes, and then my mom really just didn't want to buy it for me. But she's like, "If you want that bad, fuck it. I will fucking buy it for you." But she looks over at the game. She keeps glancing over at, "Is that game good?" And then the guy's like, "It's all right." And then he's like, "You know, it's a really good game." He walks over to the one of the shelves, hands me a game called Dot Hack Rebirth, and I was like, "Huh." Now, what I forgot to mention was that before the whole Persona scenario, I did play Dot Hack Infection. And I'm sorry to say, but I hated it. The combat was so boring. The story was alright, but I returned it. And I saw Dot Hack, and I was like, huh. And then the guy actually told me, this is way improved over the first series of games. I was like, alright, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I beat it in a week, pretty short. But I did know it was part of a larger series. But I really didn't bother getting the next one. And I thought it was pretty awesome. Like, I'm like really glad the guy got it for me. Or picked it up, you know, he's like, oh, play this. I was like, awesome. And I beat it. It was short, but it was sweet and it was awesome. So, you know, beat it. Was upset it was pretty short. Went to GameStop again. I know it sounds like I make frequent trips, but I don't. I'm just, imagine monthly intervals. Then I kept bugging my mom, please, we have to get Persona 3. Please. Fine. She like not screamed, but she was like pissed off because I just kept annoying her. And looked all over the place for it. The one day my mom lets me get it, could not find it. Went to GameStop, went to EB Games, the Phillipsburg Mall, this is where I go. Called every place at Easton, in every fucking place, no one had it. I was pissed. So I go home, I'm like, huh, let's go to YouTube. I haven't thought about that for, going to YouTube for games. Typed in Persona 3 gameplay. It was in Japanese for some reason, because it was already out, but, I looked it up. It was there. I was like, ooh, Persona 3 gameplay. And then it was so different from DDS and Devil Summoner. It was anime style. The battles looked awesome. I was like, AI control party members, whatever, it looks fun. And then the battle music is what sold me. I got into the battle, I was like, ooh yeah, na na na. I was like, yes, fuck yeah, I have to have this game, because it was awesome. I was like, I never heard a battle theme like that. It was so good. The battle theme, I played the game, and even though it started off slow, just the setting was so original. The characters sold me. I loved them. And I did start to kind of have a falling out with them, because it's a whole nother story I'm not going to get into. But bottom line, I thought the characters were pretty cool. But at that time, I thought they were awesome. The shooting in the head thing was awesome, even though I didn't understand it at all. Loved it. And then before Persona 3, years and years and years after I played Kingdom Hearts, I didn't think there would be a game that would top Kingdom Hearts. Did not. From 2004, I guess, to what I got it, to 2007, Kingdom Hearts remained the champion. Then Persona 3 came along. Played it. Now, the thing about me is I have a short attention span. So, usually when I play a game, I play it for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I get bored of it. Not because the game is bad, not because the game is boring, but because I just lose interest. I put it down for a while, I take a break before I hate it and get completely burnt out of it, and I go to something else. That's how I am. I know there are very, very, very few games that I play from start to finish. Like Digital Devil Saga, for example. I played that from start to finish. Kingdom Hearts. Not much else that I can think of, actually. Persona 3 was also one of those games that I played from start to finish without stopping. Long-ass 70-fucking-hour game without side quests. It was long, I know. But loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. It was my favorite game of all time at that 2007 or, whatever. Played it. It took me like, I don't know, 3 months, whatever, blah, blah. I was busy with school and stuff, but I can't believe how much I love Persona 3. And then I replayed it the second I finished it. And then months passed. 2008 came along. April of 2008 came along. Persona 3 FES was released. A sequel? Nice. Played it. The sequel was alright. I mean, it was more the story that sold me, but the gameplay was really watered down from the original Persona 3 due to the lack of social links, and it was shorter. But it was still pretty long. 35 hours, I guess. That's pretty damn long for a sequel, at least. And I enjoyed it. I still haven't I can't not beat the final boss in the answer. Cannot. But still, all in all, Persona 3 remained the champion. So FES, that game, I mean, FES is the same game, so I guess that was my favorite. But still, it was basically the same. Then, that same year, December 9th of 2008, I will never forget that date. I made a rhyme. I wish I could do it all the time. Now, back to suspense. That day came. Before, I'd ever thought Persona 3 could be beat. April, then I heard about a trailer. I saw a comment that literally said in all caps, Persona 4 trailer was released. Huh. Now, I looked at the video. The date was March of 2008, so I never heard of it until, I didn't know there was going to be a Persona 4 until, after I played FES. So, I was like, oh, Persona 4. Let's type in Persona 4 trailer. Okay. The fucking 15-minute trailer. Like, why is it so long? It's a trailer. Jesus, it was in Japanese, obviously. I was like, huh, it looks alright. Those were my words. It looks alright. I mean, my words were this. I don't really see how it could beat Persona 3. I really don't, because it looked basically the same. The battle system looked the same. Blah, blah, blah. It was just trailers for a while. Then finally I saw one of those, when a game comes out and you see like those 30-second clips of like an attack the character does, or like a very short clip. Yeah, I had those because the game wasn't out in Japan, but they were like, oh, yo, let's put gameplay videos out. Just very small snippets. So I was like, it looks alright. Whatever. Persona 3 is going to be better. I mean, and I said, by no means is this game going to be bad, but it looked alright to me because it looked the same, except just different characters, blah, blah, blah. Then the random battle video, or not the random battle, like the game finally came out in Japan. People were posting videos about the game, about random fights and bosses and blah blah blah. And I was like, this game looks pretty damn sweet. A lot better than it looked in the trailers, but still not gonna be Persona 3. Months passed. Every single day, I watched videos of Persona 4. I did, nonstop for hours. I would watch battles after battle after battle after battle, and small Japanese cutscenes, battle, just nonstop watch Persona 4 videos. Could not wait for the game. Could not. The game looked phenomenal. And at that point, I was not, until the game came out. At that point, I really wasn't worried if it was going to beat Persona 3, if it was going to be better or not. I just wanted the game. I never thought, Persona 3 is going to be better. At that point, I didn't care. I just wanted the game. December 9th, 2008 was the release date. Got it, played it, beat it, loved it. Fucking Christ, did I love this game. Oh my god, everything. I didn't find a single flaw in that game. Persona 3 had some flaws. Persona 4, none whatsoever. Did not think Persona 3 could be beaten, but Persona 4 proved me dead wrong. That's why I have hopes that Persona 5 can beat Persona 4, but I don't see how. And like I said, I'm contradicting myself because I say at that time I didn't see what 4 was going to do better than 3, and clearly I was proved wrong. But we'll just have to see what Atlus has up their sleeve of wonders. I don't know, mysticism, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much my story. I've been playing RPG since I was 8. Persona 4 came out, remains the champion. It's been almost out for almost 4 years. There's more to it. Let me talk about my history with the Tales series. I went to GameStop, one of the before Persona 3, I think. No, it was after Persona 3. Yeah, because I remember specifically, I saw Tales of the Abyss at GameStop, and I was like, nice. Let's get this game. Bought it. I thought it was pretty good at first. I wasn't really digging it at first, bear in mind. Remember those words, at first. Wasn't digging it. I thought Luke was a total fucking asshole. I wanted to punch him in his bratty face. I hated that bastard. I hated him so much. And clearly they were doing it on purpose. Clearly. And that's part of his character. I loved Luke after the bratty part. After his brattiness died. After the events at Exariuth. So, I played it. I thought the story was awesome. I thought the gameplay was alright. I'm still not too big a fan compared to the other Tales games, at least. And another funny thing too, I saw Tales of the Abyss, did not know it was part of a big series called Tales. Did not know that. So Tales of the Abyss was the first first Tales game I ever got. For most people it's Symphonia, for me it was Abyss. That's kind of the funny thing too for Ship Gummy Tensei. Most people was Persona 3, mine was Digital Devil Saga. I know I'm very taboo, going crazy with differences. Anyway, I didn't beat Tales of the Abyss for a while. I played it, I got past the part where Luke cut his hair, and I thought the game was epic, and then I just stopped for some reason. I think it was the gameplay was kind of not so great compared to a lot of other action RPGs I played, and then the Christmas of 2008, this was after Persona 4 came out, I got Tales of Vesperia on the 360, and I played it, and again, I thought the story was alright in the beginning. I thought the combat was a lot of fun, but then the story really, really quickly picked up, and the characters were awesome, and again, it took me a while to beat Vesperia. Stuffy allergies. It took me a while to beat Vesperia, because again, it started off slow and got kind of repetitive, but it really picked up. Tired. And I loved it. Although Abyss was the first Tales game I ever bought and played, Vesperia was the first one I beat, and then I beat Vesperia. I was like, alright, let's go back to Abyss. Then I started a new game just for the sake of starting a new game, just to experience it again. You could read the synopsis if you want, but it's not the same. So, started over, played it, but gave it the benefit of the doubt. Knew the combat was as good as Vesperia. The story really picked up. That's the best part of the game. Obviously, anyone who's played Abyss knows that that's the best part. The combat kind of blows the ass of a fat woman. Yeah, I went there. But beat Abyss. Then I got Symphonia, and to be really honest, I kind of hated it at first. I thought it was like a really crappy game, and then it slowly picked up. But the Silverhand storyline was just very ho hum. Did not feel it. Was not feeling it. There were really two things that kept me going. The battle system I really loved, and I was like, this game came before Abyss. Why the fuck is it better? Besides free run, not having free run, didn't understand it, but it was. Battles were a lot of fun, and I really, really, really loved the characters in that game. Loved them. I thought they were awesome. But yeah, then I put Symphonia down for a long time, long time, because I thought it was so bad. And then there was that one plot twist. After you quote unquote complete the world regeneration, end quote, and then that's when the game got super fucking awesome. You meet some really cool characters after that plot twist. Lots of stuff. It's kind of thrown at you all at once, but it was still tolerable. And then that's another game I played from start to finish without stopping. I had to kind of force myself to play through the Sylvain storyline, despite some good concepts like slavery and racism, and maybe a little bit of political intrigue, but there were still some cool moments in the Sylvain storyline. But then the Tetheala scene came in, and that's when shit hit the fucking fan faster than a speeding bullet. I love Symphonia. I played it from start to finish without stop. I played it hours on end every single day just because I could not get enough of this story. I met some really awesome characters in the Tetheala part. Zelos, Regal, Presea, Sheena. They were all awesome. No, I mean, Kratos could suck a dick. Zelos is better. Huh? Kratos is awesome, but dude, Zelos would fucking rape Kratos in a fight. Zelos is awesome. Personality-wise, mostly, especially because he's so entertaining. Why would I want to replace a hilarious, funny guy with just some guy that's like, let's move on. We killed the wolf. Let's go. Rather than where Zelos takes a critical. He's like, not the face. I was like, come on, this guy's awesome. And I loved him. I thought he was great. Every single character I loved. There was not a single character I hated in Symphonia. So I beat Symphonia. Loved it. Then, here's the game that everyone fucking hates, and I got Dawn of the New World, and I played it on my Wii. What was funny was that my brother travels a lot, and he's on the wrestling team, so my dad was with him at a tournament. I was home. I was really in the middle of the final boss fight in Symphonia, and it was funny because I called my dad. Now, I kind of sound like a spoiled brat right now. What I'm about to say is that I called my dad and said, Dad, I'm at the final boss in Symphonia. On your way home, can you please pick up the second Symphonia? He's like, okay, call GameStop. Okay, I hung up the phone, called GameStop. I was like, hey, bitch, do you... I'm kidding. I said, hey, do you have a Symphonia Dawn of the New World? He's like, yeah, we do. Well, and I said, can you hold a copy for me? All right, yeah, thanks. Blah, blah, blah. Called my dad. They have it. He stopped at GameStop. It was literally like $30. Not too much. Played it. What was really awesome about Symphonia 2 was that, unlike the first one, it just hooked me from start to finish. Like, it didn't start off with the stupid ho-hum storytelling of the Sylvain storyline. There were so many great concepts that it was just so intriguing. It was a lot shorter than the first one, but to be honest, I'd rather have a 30-hour epic adventure from start to finish than a 50-hour adventure with only about 75% of it being really awesome. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have it's not 30 hours to me is long enough. That's fine. Anything under 30 is short, but I think 30 is enough. But I'd rather have that than, like I said, a 50-hour plus game that's, only about 80% of it is good. You know what I mean? I know this is a story about how I got into RPGs, and I'm kind of wandering off a little bit, but I like to talk about stuff like this. This is fun to me, but the thing about everyone hates Emil. And you know what? Tell me what? He has every right to act the way he does. He's not wimpy. He's just scared of the way people treat him. Everyone treats him like garbage. His parents were killed right before him by Lloyd Irving, the naive, awesome, funny protagonist. That's another great concept about the game, is that you wonder why that. But his parents were slaughtered in cold blood right before his eyes. He lives with his aunt and uncle who physically abuse him. Everyone considers him such bad luck because ever since he moved to Lewin, the environment's been going haywire. Lake Sonoa dried up. Monsters keep frequently attacking the town. Of course, everyone hurts him physically and emotionally and mentally. Look at the way he's treated. I could ask you to put yourself in his shoes, and you probably say, "Oh, I wouldn't act like that." fuck you, because you are full of shit. You think you wouldn't, but you would. And you want to know why? Because when I was in middle school, I was treated the exact same way. And I acted the exact same way. So I didn't look at Emil as a wimp. I looked at him as one of the most realistic characters ever. Because he was... like I said, I act the exact same way. Did you ever notice that when Emil talks to someone, especially when Richter, when he talks to Richter for the first time, it's really apparent. He's looking at Richter and he keeps kind of moving his head away. Do you want to know why? Because he's expected to get yelled at and or hit. That's why he's looking away. He's like, speak up for yourself. Oh, I'm Emil, sir. Of course. Look at the way he's fucking treated. Open your eyes, people, when you play this game. Open your fucking eyes, keep an open mind, and understand the way he's treated. It sucks. I understand because I was timid like that too. Whenever I talked to people, I looked away. I kind of covered, I kind of went to like a very slight defensive stance in case I got hit. It was horrible. I was the exact same way when I was a kid, and I changed. Just like Emil does, Emil changes, he evolves, and the whole concept of him having a dual personality and how his alternate personality is an asshole but still sympathetic, deep down, and just the way it starts to develop into its own person, it's awesome. And Emil is just amazing. I loved him. I thought he was a great character because playing Daughter of the New World, I actually looked at Emil and I felt like I was looking in a mirror. I said, "Wow, this kid is me," and video game form. But you know what? Let's just stop right there talking about that because I went into a very large rant. But anyway, played Daughter of the New World from start to finish. Didn't stop. Loved it. Great game. I didn't know, despite some of its very minor faults, I thought the game was excellent. Loved it. At that point, I beat 4 Tales games. My first Tales game I ever beat was Vesperia, then Abyss, then Symphonia, then Dawn of the New World, and then I got a little game called Tales of Legendia. I heard mixed things about this game. I saw some fan reviews and they liked it. Then I saw some critic reviews and they thought it was like decent. The highest I ever saw it get was an 8, critic-wise, Metacritic, and the lowest I ever saw it get was like a 6 point something. I bought it. I was not really feeling it. And to this day, I still don't really feel it. Bunch of my friends, you know who you are. You told me, alright, you didn't tell me it was super epic, but you said it was a good game, and I just was not feeling it. I know I'm gonna go back to it before Graces comes out if I could fucking find the disc. I lost it. I'm gonna try to, if I could find the game, I'm gonna go back to it before Graces comes out, and I'll just try my best to play it because the battle system was terrible. I'm sorry to say, but it's so sloppy. The controls are so sensitive. I'm always moving around too fast. The camera's all over the place. It's awful. I mean, the story was alright. I mean, the concept that they're on a giant ship that got access an island is pretty cool. The Legacy, I thought that was pretty great. But the game was so ugly. These are the worst PS2 graphics I've ever seen. These are bad graphics. I'm not a graphics whore like first-person shooter fans are. Graphics is the least of my concern out of everything. But this game was... These graphics suck ass. But... Okay, so with that aside, really only redeeming quality of this game so far to me is that the story is okay. It's got some interesting plot points, but it's not too amazing. The best part of this game, though, is the phenomenal cast of characters. I love these guys. I love them so much. My favorite cast of characters in the entire Tales series that I played so far is definitely Vesperia. But Legendia is like basically a close second. I love those guys, but I really can't see it's hard to beat Symphonia and Abyss's characters too, so I really can't say Legendia is my second favorite cast. Vesperia is my favorite cast, but Legendia's cast is very strong. I loved every single one. Granted, I don't think I met everyone, but everyone I did meet was really cool. Loved them. And the voice acting was kind of the weaker of the series, but it was still good voice acting. But all in all, Legendia is a weak game to me. I'm gonna play it again once if I could fucking find it. But anyway, that's my history with the Tales series. Persona 4 is still the best game ever made, in my opinion, to this day. 2008. It's 2012 now. It's almost been out for 4 fucking years. Still waiting for a game to beat it. Cannot find a single flaw in that game. But that's my story. I know it's this was a very, very long video, but to be honest, I was trying to make it short as possible. But when you start talking about your history with games, when you start talking about something like this, you get really overhyped for it. You get into it. I forgot I was in the video, to be honest. I thought I was actually talking to a friend right in my chair listening to my story. I'm serious, and I got really into it, so I'm sorry about that. So, like, if you're up with me up to this point, thanks for sticking around. I had a lot of fun making this video, and hopefully you had a lot of fun listening to it. But like I said, first game ever played, Kingdom Hearts. Best game ever made, Persona 4. Final Fantasy X was the first RPG I ever experienced. I didn't play Final Fantasy X myself. I quote-unquote experienced it because I didn't play it myself, but I just watched my dad. I was so intrigued by the way the game played, and then Kingdom Hearts changed everything, made me love RPGs. Persona 4 came along as my favorite game of all time. And there you go. That's my story. Again, I hope I'm not missing anything, but thanks for sticking around. That's it for me. Peace.